Dear man, appreciate the woman in your lives always, because it is not easy to be a woman. It is not easy to wake each morning and prepare to face a world that often greets her strength with suspicion and her softness with exploitation. It is not easy to hold the weight of generations in her palms, to carry the stories of her mothers and grandmothers, and still smile through the silence of her own unspoken aches. A woman's heart beats to the rhythm of both sacrifice and survival. Her laughter is not merely joy. It is a melody stitched through pain. Her tears are not a sign of weakness. They are rivers of courage, flowing quietly through the valleys of her endurance. When a woman loves, she does not give only affection. She gives her breath, her prayers, her hope for tomorrow. She gives you light even when her own skies are dim. She tends to your wounds while nursing her own. She carries your burdens in her soul and still makes space for your dreams. A woman knows how to turn scarcity into abundance. She knows how to make a single piece of bread stretch for the whole family, how to turn struggle into a song, and how to turn heartbreak into wisdom. She knows how to smile through the rain because she has known storms far fiercer than the weather outside her window. Yet too often, her efforts are seen as duty instead of devotion, her patience mistaken for permission, her silence confused with acceptance. Dear man, you must know, no woman is born to be overlooked. No woman is born to be unappreciated. She was crafted from resilience itself, sculpted by the Creator with intention, delicacy, and divine power. Appreciate the woman who stands beside you, not because she is flawless, but because she chooses to stay, to nurture, to rise again and again even when life pushes her to her knees. Appreciate the woman who challenges you, because her honesty is a mirror meant to polish your soul. Appreciate the woman who forgives you, because her forgiveness is not a weakness. It is a reflection of her extraordinary strength. When you see a woman walking tall, understand that her posture is not pride, it is history. Each step she takes carries the weight of 1,000 others who could not. When she raises her voice, know that it echoes centuries of silenced cries. When she dreams, understand that her dreams were once forbidden, yet she dares to imagine anyway. A woman's courage is quiet. It does not always roar in the open. Sometimes it whispers through the simple act of waking up and trying again. Sometimes it is found in the way she tucks her child into bed after a long day, or how she holds her tongue to protect the peace of her home. Sometimes it is in the way she prays for others who never prayed for her. It is not easy to be a woman in a world that measures her worth by appearances, that demands perfection while denying her rest, that praises her beauty yet fears her power. She must walk carefully, too gentle, and she is invisible, too bold, and she is punished, yet she walks anyway. She walks in grace, in defiance, in faith. Dear man, if you have a woman in your life, a mother, a sister, a daughter, a wife, a friend, understand that you are in the presence of a miracle. Her hands may be small, but they hold universes. Her words may be soft, but they shape destinies. Her eyes may tire, but they still search for your good. When you see her tired, don't just let her rest. Help her breathe. When you see her strong, don't take it for granted. Honor her power. When you see her quiet, don't assume contentment. Ask about her soul. Love her not because she serves, but because she is. Appreciation is not spoken only in words. It is felt in how you listen, in how you understand, in how you show up when the world turns its back on her. It is in how you speak of her when she is not in the room. It is in the gentleness of your tone, the sincerity of your gratitude, and the consistency of your care. Do you know what it takes to be a woman? It takes courage to smile when her heart is breaking. It takes grace to nurture life and still chase her own dreams. It takes strength to be told she is too much, too loud, too emotional, and still keep speaking her truth. It takes faith to love deeply in a world that often forgets to love her back. There are women who wake before dawn, who go to work, cook, clean, care for children, soothe hearts, manage households, and hold their worlds together with nothing but determination and faith. There are women who suffer silently, who fight invisible battles in their minds and hearts, and still find reasons to say, "I'm fine." There are women who carry the memories of pain in their bones, yet dance like joy is their inheritance. There are women who have been told to shrink, to quiet down, to stay in their place. And they did until the day they decided to rise. And when they did, the whole world changed. Dear man, appreciate her before the world teaches you her absence. Appreciate her while her hands still reach for you, while her laughter still fills the room, while her eyes still look at you with warmth. Because one day, silence will speak where her voice used to be, and you will understand that you had an angel walking beside you all along. It is not easy to be a woman who must constantly balance expectation with exhaustion. She is told to be strong but never too strong, to be caring but never too needy, to be beautiful but not vain, to be independent but never intimidating. Every day she dances between contradictions, trying to honor herself while pleasing everyone else. Yet, even with all the burdens laid upon her, she chooses love. She chooses compassion. She chooses hope. That is the miracle of a woman. She continues to give even when her cup is nearly empty. She continues to believe in goodness even when she has seen cruelty. She continues to rise again and again, defying every reason not to. Dear man, appreciation is not a gift you give. It is a recognition you awaken. It is not flowers on a birthday or apologies after mistakes. It is the daily act of seeing her humanity. It is the courage to say, "I notice you, I respect you, I value you." A woman's worth does not depend on how much she endures for you. It depends on how much she values herself. But your appreciation can help her remember that she is seen, that she is cherished, that her presence matters deeply. When you appreciate a woman, you do not just lift her, you lift generations. Because every woman carries the future in her spirit. The way you speak to her echoes into the ears of daughters and sons who will learn what love looks like from your example. If you respect her, they will respect themselves. If you honor her, they will learn to honor others. The appreciation of a woman is a legacy. It is not fleeting, it is eternal. It shapes homes, societies, and nations. History has shown that when women are uplifted, the world grows brighter. When they are silenced, the world grows dim. Dear man, understand that no great civilization has thrived without the wisdom of its women. Behind every achievement, there was a woman teaching, supporting, encouraging, or believing. Even when her name was erased from the record, her fingerprints remained on the story. A woman's intuition is a compass. Her patience is a foundation. Her love is a revolution. When she says she believes in you, it means she has already imagined your victory in her heart. When she prays for you, she moves mountains unseen. When she stands beside you, the universe aligns to give you strength. So appreciate her not because she does everything right, but because she keeps doing her best even when the world gives her little to hold on to. Appreciate her not for her perfection, but for her persistence. For every time she has been underestimated and still proven her worth. For every time she has been broken and still chosen to love again, do not wait until she is gone to understand her power. Do not wait for regret to teach you gratitude. Appreciation is the light that keeps love alive, and a woman deserves to live in that light every day. When you tell her she is beautiful, mean more than her appearance. See the beauty of her resilience, her compassion, her intelligence. When you say thank you, let it come from a heart that knows she has carried far more than she reveals. When you touch her hand, understand that you are holding the strength of 1,000 untold stories. It is not easy to be a woman who has to fight for respect she should have been born with. It is not easy to walk through life knowing that her worth is often questioned, her voice dismissed, her pain minimized. And yet she walks with grace. She walks with purpose. She walks with an invisible crown made of hope and endurance. Dear man, if you ever wonder what love looks like, look at a woman who keeps believing in you despite the odds. If you ever question strength, look at a woman who carries love and loss in the same heart. If you ever seek courage, look at a woman who rises after being told to stay down. A woman is not fragile, she is sacred. She is not secondary, she is central. She is not meant to be tamed, she is meant to be understood. Her soul is a vast ocean, deep, mysterious, and infinite. Those who only look at the surface will never understand her power. Appreciate her laughter, for it hides storms she has conquered. Appreciate her quiet moments, for they are filled with reflections of battles she has fought alone. Appreciate her dreams, for they are the seeds of tomorrow. Appreciate her presence, for it is a gift the universe chose to give you. Dear man, you are blessed beyond measure if you have even one woman in your life who loves you purely. Do not take her for granted. Love her in the language she understands, not just words, but consistency. Not just gestures, but respect. Not just promises, but action. And when you choose to appreciate her, you will begin to see something remarkable. Her light will grow, and so will yours. Because appreciation does not just honor the giver, it transforms the receiver. It turns homes into sanctuaries, relationships into partnerships, and ordinary days into blessings. Dear man, appreciate the woman in your life. Not because she demands it, but because she deserves it. Because she has been strong for so long, loved so deeply, given so freely. Because she is not just a part of your life. She is the rhythm that keeps it moving. So honor her presence, cherish her spirit, and remember, it is not easy to be a woman. But oh, how beautiful it is when she is loved, respected, and appreciated for all that she is. The unseen strength behind every woman's silence is not a void, but a universe of endurance. It is the soundless language of pain turned into patience, of understanding turned into resilience. There are moments when a woman's lips are still, yet her heart is crying out in 1,000 ways the world will never hear. Her silence is not weakness. It is the armor she wears to protect her peace in a world that rarely listens. She learns from a young age that words can be twisted, emotions can be mocked, and truth can be ignored, so she folds her feelings into the quiet corners of her soul. She carries conversations within her that no one else has the courage to begin. Behind that silence are storms of unspoken words, memories that ache to be freed, and wisdom too deep for noise. It takes strength to stay calm when chaos surrounds her, to hold herself together when everything tries to pull her apart. Her silence is her sanctuary, the place where she gathers herself, where she mends invisible wounds, where she reclaims her strength away from the world's expectations. She knows that not every battle is fought with noise. Some are won in the sacred stillness of self-control. She remains silent not because she has nothing to say, but because she has learned the art of choosing when to speak and when to preserve her spirit. In her silence lies the strength of generations, the echoes of mothers and grandmothers who endured with dignity when their voices were stolen. She has seen enough of life to know that not every truth needs an audience, and not every wound needs to bleed in public. So she stands still, carrying her pain like a crown, walking through life with quiet power. People mistake her calm for indifference, not realizing that it takes more courage to remain composed than to explode. The woman who can hold her tongue when provoked, who can smile while breaking inside, who can bow her head to pray instead of curse. She possesses a strength few will ever understand. Her silence speaks of battles fought in solitude, of nights spent wrestling with her own doubts, of mornings when she rose with swollen eyes, but unbroken spirit. It is the kind of strength that does not seek validation, that does not need applause. Her silence is not emptiness. It is full of meaning, full of prayers, full of endurance. It is the strength to protect her heart from a world that rarely sees the depth of her sacrifices. It is the courage to keep walking, to keep giving, to keep believing in love, even when silence is her only companion. It is the power of restraint, the beauty of grace under pressure, the quiet fire that burns steady while others burn out. Behind her silence is her story, her scars, her wisdom, her unshakable will to survive and to keep loving despite it all. Appreciation is not a gift, it's recognition of divinity. It is the act of seeing what has always been sacred but often overlooked. To appreciate a woman is to witness the quiet miracles she performs daily, to honor the divine essence that flows through her hands, her heart, her very being. She is not asking for gratitude as a favor. She is deserving of it by the virtue of her existence. Her love, her patience, her understanding. They are not ordinary human traits. They are reflections of something higher, something godlike in their endurance and grace. Appreciation is not wrapped in flowers or spoken only in sweet words. It lives in awareness, in presence, in reverence. When a man truly appreciates a woman, he is not offering her something new. He is awakening to what has been holy all along. Her strength, her gentleness, her intuition, her ability to forgive and rebuild after being broken, all these are forms of divine energy in motion. The world teaches us to value achievement, noise, and dominance. But the divine moves in quiet ways, just like her. She heals without ceremony, nurtures without recognition, gives without counting. To appreciate her is to bow, not in submission, but in acknowledgement of the sacred. It is to say, I see the divine in you. It is to understand that her kindness is not weakness, that her compassion is not compliance, that her endurance is not obligation. Appreciation becomes worship when it is rooted in truth, when it recognizes the Creator's touch in the creation before us. There is holiness in the way she listens, in the way she sacrifices, in the way she continues to hope. Her divinity does not announce itself. It reveals itself in the smallest acts, in feeding, in comforting, in waiting, in believing. Every time she chooses love over anger, she channels something far beyond human understanding. Appreciation, then, is not a transaction but a revelation. It is not about giving her what she earns. It is about seeing who she truly is. When you appreciate her, you align yourself with something pure and transformative, because to recognize divinity in another is to awaken it in yourself. She is a vessel of creation, not only in giving life but in sustaining it, shaping it, nurturing it. Every woman carries within her a reflection of the divine feminine, the force that heals, that restores, that endures through pain and still smiles through tears. To appreciate her is to recognize that within her silence is prayer, within her patience is faith, within her touch is power. Her presence is a reminder that love, resilience, and compassion are not fragile, they are sacred. Appreciation, therefore, is an awakening to her holiness, an acknowledgement that the divine is not distant or unreachable. It breathes beside you, cooks your meals, holds your hand, listens to your pain, and still finds ways to bring you peace. A woman's love is both sacrifice and salvation. It is a force that bends without breaking, that gives without measuring, that heals even as it bleeds. When a woman loves, she pours from the deepest well of her soul, offering more than affection. She offers redemption. Her love is not loud. It moves quietly, repairing what the world has damaged, softening what life has hardened. It is a kind of love that asks for nothing yet gives everything. She will hold another's pain as if it were her own, listen when her heart is tired, smile when her spirit is weary. Her love knows no boundaries of time or condition. It stretches across disappointments, across distance, across unspoken wounds. It is sacrifice not because she is forced to give, but because her heart knows no other way to live. She finds fulfillment in nurturing, in protecting, in lifting others even when she herself is sinking. This love is a divine inheritance, passed down from generations of women who learned that love could be the only thing to hold on to when everything else was taken. A woman's love is not naive. It is aware, deliberate, chosen. It is the kind of love that stays after storms, that tends to what others abandon. Her love can carry a family, mend a heart, rebuild a broken man. It is the quiet pulse that keeps life moving forward. She sacrifices her comfort so others may rest, her dreams so others may rise, her peace so others may find theirs. Yet in those sacrifices lies her salvation, for giving is her way of becoming whole again. Her love saves not only those she nurtures, but herself too, because in the act of loving, she connects to her purpose. She finds strength in the tenderness that others mistake for fragility. Even when betrayed or wounded, she loves again, not because she forgets, but because her nature refuses to let bitterness take root. Her love transforms pain into wisdom, loss into depth, sorrow into grace. It is salvation because it rescues hearts that have forgotten how to feel. Her love teaches forgiveness without pride, loyalty without demand, patience without expectation. It saves the broken not through words but through presence. The way she stays, listens, prays, believes. Her love is the kind that rebuilds others silently, piece by piece, until they remember their worth. She sacrifices time, rest, and sometimes even herself, yet she never runs out, because love for her is not a limited resource. It is an eternal current that renews itself through giving. Her love is both the cross and the resurrection. It bears pain, yet it brings life. It is a sacred balance of surrender and strength, a living reminder that to love like a woman is to embody both the cost and the miracle of what it means to save and be saved. Respect turns presence into partnership. It transforms mere coexistence into connection, turning the space between two souls into a sacred ground where love can breathe freely. Respect is not built on authority or control. It grows from understanding, from the willingness to see another as an equal reflection of humanity. When a man respects a woman, he acknowledges her voice as truth, her thoughts as wisdom, her dreams as worthy. Respect is not shown through words alone, but through how gently one handles another's heart, how attentively one listens when silence feels safer than speech. It is found in the pause before speaking, in the patience to understand, in the humility to learn. Respect does not demand, it recognizes. It is not about agreeing on everything, but about honoring the space for difference. A woman does not seek dominance or validation. She seeks to be seen, to be valued for her mind, her spirit, her individuality. When she is respected, she blooms. When she is dismissed, she withers quietly behind her strength. Respect means not interrupting her growth but nurturing it. It means trusting her choices, her intuition, her capacity to lead. It is looking at her and seeing a partner, not a possession. True partnership cannot exist where respect is missing, because love without respect is only dependency dressed in romance. Respect gives love its backbone, its stability, its permanence. It tells her that her feelings matter, her thoughts count, her existence has meaning beyond what she provides. It is not about agreeing to every word she says, but about never making her feel small for saying it. When respect lives between two people, arguments become learning, not destruction. Differences become bridges, not walls. Respect is the quiet commitment to protect each other's dignity even in disagreement. It is remembering that words can wound more deeply than silence, and choosing gentleness over pride. Respect teaches that strength is not louder than empathy. A man who respects a woman does not feel threatened by her power. He is inspired by it. He does not compete with her light. He stands beside it, allowing both to shine brighter. Respect is the soil where equality takes root. It allows love to grow naturally, without fear, without control, without possession. It is in the way he listens when she speaks of her dreams, in the way he supports her ambition without questioning her worth. Respect turns presence into partnership by shifting love from self-centered to shared. It builds a space where both can rise without one having to shrink. When respect enters love, it becomes more than emotion. It becomes purpose. It transforms the ordinary moments of being together into something sacred, where both souls find freedom in the safety of each other's regard. Respect does not just hold love together. It makes it real. It makes it lasting. It makes it whole. Gratitude is the language that keeps love alive. It is the quiet acknowledgement that what stands before you is not owed but gifted. Gratitude breathes life into ordinary moments, turning them into sacred exchanges between hearts that choose to see, to feel, to appreciate. It is the tender whisper that says, "I see your effort. I feel your care. I do not take you for granted." In a world that moves fast and forgets easily, gratitude slows time down. It reminds us that love is not sustained by grand gestures, but by small recognitions of grace. When a man shows gratitude to a woman, he nourishes her spirit in ways words alone cannot express. It tells her that her presence matters, that her sacrifices are seen, that her love does not go unnoticed. Gratitude is not about perfection but awareness. It is the art of noticing what might otherwise fade into routine. A woman thrives in appreciation, the way flowers bloom in sunlight. Gratitude becomes her reassurance that what she gives does not disappear into silence. It strengthens the bond between two souls because it replaces expectation with recognition. It teaches that love grows not by demanding more, but by cherishing what already exists. Gratitude does not require a special moment. It can be found in the simple things. A thank you for the meal she made, a gentle acknowledgement of her patience, a smile that says you matter to me. It is not about formality, it is about presence. It is knowing that every act of kindness, every quiet contribution, every unseen sacrifice deserves to be honored. Gratitude keeps love alive by preventing it from turning into duty. It reminds both hearts that love is a choice renewed daily through awareness. When gratitude is spoken, walls fall and hearts open. It transforms routine into ritual, tiredness into tenderness, and existence into experience. Gratitude also humbles the one who gives it, reminding him that he is blessed, that love is not a right but a privilege. It is the most human way of saying, "I remember who you are and what you mean to me." A woman who feels appreciated finds strength to continue giving without resentment, because gratitude refuels what life depletes. It softens anger, dissolves pride, heals misunderstanding. It creates a rhythm in relationships that keeps connection flowing like breath. Gratitude does not ask for more. It celebrates what is already enough. It turns ordinary days into blessings, shared struggles into unity, and fleeting moments into memories. It does not depend on gifts or rewards but on awareness, on choosing to see love where it lives quietly in the background of daily life. Gratitude speaks in actions more than in words, in kindness returned, in patience offered, in love remembered. It is the purest language of the heart, one that keeps love alive long after the words have faded, and the world has gone silent. When you uplift a woman, you elevate generations. The act of honoring, respecting, and empowering a woman extends far beyond her. It ripples outward like a stone dropped into still water, touching lives unseen, shaping futures unborn. A woman carries within her the memory of all who came before, and the potential of all who will come after. When you uplift her, you do not simply lift one soul. You awaken the lineage she carries in her heart. She becomes a bridge between the past and the future, between struggle and triumph, between silence and voice. Every time you help a woman rise, you are lifting the mothers who sacrificed, the daughters who dream, and the communities that depend on her strength. Her rise is not solitary. It is collective, woven from the invisible threads of her nurturing, teaching, healing, and believing. To uplift a woman is to plant seeds of possibility in the soil of society. Her influence extends beyond the walls of her home. It stretches into classrooms, workplaces, streets, and hearts. When a woman feels valued, she teaches her children the same. Her sons learn to honor, not to dominate. Her daughters learn to lead, not to shrink. Her home becomes a sanctuary of balance, where love replaces fear and understanding replaces control. The world shifts quietly when a woman stands tall, because her energy realigns everything around her. Her laughter brings healing, her wisdom brings direction, her confidence brings hope. There are countless women who live unacknowledged, whose sacrifices form the unseen foundation of progress. They raise leaders, nurture dreamers, and support those who shine, often without recognition. When society overlooks them, it robs itself of its own power. But when you uplift them, through respect, through opportunity, through compassion, you unlock a strength that can rebuild nations. A woman's empowerment is not just her victory, it is humanity's advancement. Every time she is silenced, the world loses a song. Every time she is lifted, the world gains a melody. Uplifting a woman begins with how she is seen. It begins in how we speak of her, how we listen to her, how we make room for her truth. When she is heard, she heals. When she is supported, she thrives. When she thrives, everyone around her rises. A woman's resilience is contagious. Her courage becomes an inheritance for those who watch her. When you believe in her, you are teaching generations to believe in themselves. When you protect her dignity, you are preserving the future's integrity. When you give her education, freedom, and respect, you are giving her children the tools to change the world. To uplift a woman is not to give her power. She already has it. It is to remove the barriers that keep her from using it. It is to remind her that her voice matters, that her choices matter, that her dreams are not a luxury, but a right. A woman who knows her worth becomes unstoppable. She builds, she inspires, she transforms the spaces she touches. She turns pain into poetry, scarcity into strength, oppression into opportunity. When she rises, her spirit ignites others to do the same. A single woman empowered can change the destiny of her family. A community of empowered women can change the direction of a nation. Every woman you uplift becomes a teacher to those who watch her rise. She teaches what grace looks like under pressure, what strength looks like wrapped in softness, what hope looks like when it refuses to die. When she stands tall, others see that they can too. When she refuses to be diminished, others learn that dignity is not negotiable. Her empowerment is a beacon that lights the way for others still in the dark. The upliftment of a woman is not only a moral duty, but a spiritual one. It aligns with the divine order of balance, masculine and feminine energy, working not in competition but in harmony. When one side is suppressed, the world falters. When both rise together, creation flourishes. To uplift a woman is to restore that harmony. It is to honor the sacred energy that gives life, nurtures growth, and sustains humanity. It is to recognize that she is not beneath, not behind, but beside, equal in worth, unique in expression, irreplaceable in essence. When a woman is uplifted, she becomes a mirror of possibility. The young girl watching her learns that she, too, can dream beyond boundaries. The boy observing her learns that strength can be gentle, and leadership can be kind. Generations begin to change quietly, through the example of one woman who was given the chance to be herself fully. That is the power of one uplifted soul. It multiplies. It reaches into the unseen corners of society and whispers courage into hearts that have forgotten their own strength. There are women who rise despite being overlooked, but there are also those who never get the chance because no one believed in them. To uplift a woman is to change that narrative. It is to extend belief where doubt has lived too long. It is to give her the space to breathe, to create, to exist without fear of judgment. It is not charity, it is justice. It is not favor, it is fairness. When you uplift her, you acknowledge her humanity, and in doing so, you affirm your own. Uplifting a woman means creating environments where she is safe to speak her truth, to lead, to learn, to fail, to begin again. It means celebrating her intellect, her emotions, her intuition, her leadership. It means trusting her not because she is flawless, but because she is capable. A society that uplifts its women invests in its future. When women thrive, economies grow, communities heal, peace finds a foundation. Her success does not threaten anyone, it strengthens everyone. There is a profound grace in the act of lifting another. When you uplift a woman, you join her in the work of creation. You participate in something larger than yourself, something eternal. The gratitude that flows from an empowered woman nourishes the world around her. She will teach others, raise others, inspire others. Her kindness will multiply, her wisdom will guide, her resilience will ripple. What you pour into her will not stay with her. It will overflow into generations. Every woman holds within her the potential to rewrite the story of her lineage. When she stands taller, her children see further. When she speaks louder, her community learns to listen. When she chooses herself, the next generation learns the value of self-worth. The act of uplifting her is an act of faith in the future. It says that love, equality, and respect are not dreams. They are duties. It says that no generation will rise by pushing another down. To uplift a woman is to recognize that her journey has not been easy, that she has walked through shadows with quiet grace, carried burdens without complaint, and kept believing in light even when surrounded by darkness. It is to honor the strength that kept her standing when everything around her fell. It is to tell her, not with words but with actions, that she is not invisible. She is not too much. She is not too little. She is enough. She has always been enough. And when she finally feels seen, she will not rise alone. She will reach back for others, pulling them up with the same hands that once trembled. She will lift her daughters with confidence, her sisters with love, her brothers with understanding. That is her nature, to multiply the good she receives. When you uplift a woman, you set off a chain of upliftment that moves through families, through communities, through time itself. Her strength becomes a legacy. Her freedom becomes a promise. Her empowerment becomes the root from which a better world will grow.